Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Premier League Gameweek 8 Comedy Review. Let's go. International break, the dark abyss where all hopes and dreams go to die. The times of year where football fans go into hibernation like bears during the winter, except we hibernate awake on the couch, cramming chips and watching Netflix. When it feels like dementors are flying around town and spreading despair, but it's just your mother-in-law floating around the house. We all love the World Cup and Euros, but international breaks make you want to jump off a cliff. Meaningless games with nothing on the line. Honestly, I've been more invested watching that viral video of marbles racing against each other on the beach. We had the Nations League final and congrats to France for winning, but honestly, it all still seemed a bit pointless. Anyway, Newcastle provided the big news during the break where we learned that they're being taken over by new Saudi ownership. Man City 2.0, basically, but on steroids. The new ownership is 10 times richer than the City ownership with a net worth of a staggering 320 billion. The Premier League is becoming the hottest investment opportunity ever and seems like everyone wants a piece of the pie. Monopoly in real life. The likes of Arsenal, Spurs and United are now sweating bullets, wondering whether they'll ever make top 4 in years to come. Newcastle is about to become a powerhouse again. EPL is about to have its very own oil Cashiko. FPL Twitter was in deep discussion once more as people were on wildcards, trying to create team value, learning that Son had COVID, live tracking Raphinha's jet back from Brazil. Usual stuff. Except learning after deadline that Son had a false positive and was in fact fit to play this week. Which of course ruined all those wildcard teams which had Son in them. Ah yes, Son being injured or ill before a game week and then playing and hauling seems like an annual tradition now. Torres and Rudiger were out injured as well, and people were trying to get in a City midfielder with them up against Burnley, while trying to figure out who was not going to fall prey to the Pep roulette. Watford vs Liverpool. The early kickoff saw Liverpool travel to Watford. Ranieri was the new gaffer appointed during the break, and everyone and their mom had Salah as captain. No one expects Watford to stick with Ranieri given their run of fixtures and the fact that they're as trigger-happy as a kid at a theme park when it comes to getting rid of managers. They change managers more frequently than I get haircuts. Anyway, Trent back from injury was the piece of good news we were all looking for, and he had a solid clean sheet. It was Firmino who stole the show, however, with a hat-trick and an assist after being out for a long time. I remember jokes of Firmino being called a defensive striker before, because he didn't score goals, so it's nice to see him haul on his return. Jota owners should probably get rid of him now that Firmino is back. Salah, the king of FPL, had an assist to Mane for his 100th Premier League goal. Salah then put on his dancing boots as he waltzed past the Watford defence for a brilliant individual goal. Carbon copy of that City goal he scored last time out and made Watford look like a bunch of kids ice skating for the first time. Some eyebrows raised jokingly as the cycling GK Ben Foster had Salah as captain in his FPL team. Aston Villa vs Wolves. Villa led 2-0 with goals from McGinn and Ings till the 80th minute when they dropped off like a drunk man standing on top of a bar stool trying to sing. Wolves scored 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes. The third was a lucky deflected free kick from Neves that sent Martinez the wrong way and completed a comeback of epic proportions. Seemed like they'd seen the moonlight and turned into werewolves. Villa capitulated like a sandcastle in a tsunami. They melted like butter on a hot steak. They disappeared like fresh pizza on the kitchen counter. Reminded me of West Ham against Spurs last year when it went from 3-0 Spurs to 3-3 at full time. Adama Traore miraculously returned with an assist, and Cody and Saiz scored as well to get some points in defense. Hwang blanked despite the recent hype, and Jimenez got subbed in late for a one-pointer and had his owners pulling their hair out as it blocked Livramento from coming in off the bench. Villa fans will be haunted by this result for a while. Absolutely bottled it. Leicester vs Manchester United. Ollie's at the wheel of misfortune. He didn't bench Ronaldo this time out, thank God, but it sure did seem like he had. Ronaldo was nowhere to be seen since he never got the ball the entire game. Harry Maguire started after completing his first training session back from injury the day before, and it showed. He looked like a sumo wrestler in a marathon, out of place. Greenwood scored a rocket to give United the lead. Maguire then stood watching like a scarecrow as Iheanacho intercepted a pass to him, and Tielemans looped the ball like a roller coaster into the top corner. Late on, Soyuncu put Leicester in front from a corner before Rashford equalised, running in on a long ball from Lindelof. 2-2, and most thought that would be it. On the restart, however, Leicester ran down the wings and put in a ball to Vardy, who smashed it home completely unmarked. The United defenders seemed to be socially distancing from Vardy, who had all the time in the world to finish the chance. Daka then scored at the end to rub salt into the wounds and humiliate United with a 4-2 win. That ends United's 29-match unbeaten run, but does it even count given that most of those matches happened when there were no fans in the ground? It's like claiming to have the 200-meter sprint record running in your backyard. Unrest at United, and will be exciting to watch them keep up with Liverpool next game week. Shaw ended with 0 points, and at this point you'd have to be a certified maniac to keep him in. Ronaldo was just 2 points better, and the idea of having 3 premium players seems to be well and truly dead at this moment. The Vardy party continues, and Iheanacho had an assist as well. Manchester City vs Burnley. The entire game week was spent discussing who to start against Burnley, as most people were expecting a 5-0 win for City. Pep Roulette struck again, and this time the most nailed players, Diaz and Grealish, found themselves on the bench. Silva and De Bruyne on the score sheet, and a comfortable 2-0 win. The bold fraud toying with managers by bringing on Diaz for a 1-pointer. Just Pep being Pep. Norwich vs Brighton. Most people were hoping for a Brighton clean sheet, and that's what we got. Josh Sargent had an empty goal to aim at after Sanchez came running out of his box to clear a ball and messed up. Sargent, however, put in the power of a 6-year-old into his kick, and Brighton were able to clear well before it trickled towards the line. Veltman got the dreaded 59th minute substitution as his owners missed out on a clean sheet by a minute. He finished with 0 points as he'd gotten a yellow as well. Maupay was wasteful with his chances, and it ended 0-0. A lucky Brighton clean sheet thanks to a less than ruthless Sargent. Southampton vs Leeds. The Raphinha jet tracking episode was an exercise in futility as he did not feature, having played for Brazil 36 hours earlier. Broja with the only goal of the game on a counter. Livramento is the real hero we needed this season. Budget defender who is consistently racking up points, unlike some highly priced frauds. Looking at you, Shaw and Digne. Brentford vs Chelsea. On to the last game on Saturday. Rudiger was out injured, and Reece James and Alonso started on the bench. Chilwell scored a left-footed volley just before half-time and finished with 15 points to infuriate Alonso owners further. Brentford pushed Lukaku into an offside position just before he scored in what was the smartest bit of defending I've seen in a while. Lukaku continues to disappoint, and if he doesn't score against Norwich, expect him to be tossed out like the wood into a fireplace. Second half, Brentford dominated, and Chelsea looked like a Big Sam side trying to grind out a win. Wave after wave of Brentford attacks. Mbeumo's love affair with the post continued. He's now hit the post 6 times this season. At this rate, he might as well be a postman. Chelsea held on somehow, with Chalobah clearing off the line, and Mendy was like Gandalf in goal. Reece James came in for a 1-pointer in the dying minutes to block Livramento off the bench again for managers. Brentford have taken the game to all the big teams, and with their fixtures now turning, Toney and Mbeumo should be prime transfers to bring in, if he can stop flirting with the post and actually score for a change. Everton vs West Ham. Sunday saw West Ham visit Goodison. Michail Antonio and Benrahma blanked yet again, with Ogbonna scoring the only goal of the match. Iwobi was dreadful throughout the game and missed what should have been a grey assist. Digne continues to prove why he shouldn't be in your team and why he is a top-tier FPL troll. Newcastle vs Tottenham. Saudi takeover? Saudi spotted all around St. James's Park. Son had been rumoured to be out due to COVID, and for the managers who took him out, they got punished. The game got off to a perfect start for Newcastle as Wilson scored a header on what was Steve Bruce's 1000th game in charge. The rumours that he's going to be sacked soon makes it seem like they let Steve have this occasion before turning the screws. Spurs fought back with goals from Ndombele and Kane, who got his first goal this campaign with a dinked finish. There was a medical emergency in the crowd, and Reguilon and Dyer were quick to alert the referee and get help on the way. The fan is now recovering thanks to the timely actions of the medical staff at hand, and we all wish a speedy recovery. The game continued with 7 minutes of added time, and Son scored to make it 3-1 to rub it in for those managers who'd taken him out. Second half saw Poundland Voldemort Jonjo Shelby sent off for 2 yellows after having come on as a substitute for 23 minutes. Dyer scored an own goal at the end to make it interesting, but Spurs didn't bottle it this time round and held on to win 3-2. So many Son Kane wildcards destroyed by that rumour, but I guess that's just FPL. Arsenal vs Crystal Palace. Last game of the week had people wishing for an Arsenal clean sheet or some Gallagher magic. Aubameyang's hairstyle might be suspect, but his finishing was not, as he converted a Pepe shot saved by Gaeta. Saka finished with no points as he got a yellow in the first half and had to go off injured after MacArthur straight up kicked him in the back of the leg. Should have been a straight red, but as usual, VAR and the referees smoking something else. VAR continues to be an absolute joke in the hands of English referees. Second half saw Benteke pop out the LeBron James celebration after equalising before Edouard put them in the lead. With the last kick of the game, Lacazette managed to rescue a point and the Gunners avoid what would have been a bad defeat at home. And that ended the game week straight after international break. Great to have club football back, and FPL was as entertaining as ever. Chelsea on top with 19 points, Liverpool and City hot on their heels with 18 and 17 points respectively. Lessons learnt? Continue to back Salah as he is FPL royalty. Digne and Shaw are absolutely rubbish FPL picks, and the idea of the threemium might as well be dead already. So that's it for the FPL Gameweek 8 comedy review. As always, any suggestions are appreciated, and leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm going to leave you with some funny tweets from this game week. Cheers and take care.